Just like those who are trying to celebrate the feast of Passover, they call it the communion table. Communion. And if something is wrong with your life, don't take it. You touch it, you will die. Don't eat it if you have any problem. If you have any mistake, or if you have committed sin, don't touch it. If you touch it, you'll be dead on arrival. I just went to Accra and came back. Glory to God. The interesting thing is that the Passover is a feast. Is a feast. You didn't hear that? Is a feast, and there is a way the feast is celebrated. It's a feast of the Jews. It's not just pick bread and ribena. It's a feast. There were particular days where it must happen, and there was a protocol. There were candles, there were spices. That is what makes it Passover. If those things are not there, it is not Passover, it's caricature. There are spices, there's a protocol, there are certain days it will happen. It's not every week, it's not every Wednesday. There's a protocol to the Passover. Then there are spices that are used. Then there are candles that you light. Then there is the unleavened bread. The bread must be unleavened. You can't just take yam and call it the Passover. You can't take biscuit or bread. It must be unleavened because it's a protocol. That's what makes it Passover. Then the wine is not just one glass of wine. There must be 4 cups of wine. 4, not 1. Not that funny thing you take in mockery. There are 4. If those things are not together in that protocol, you didn't do Passover. It's a feast of the Jews, and it has a protocol. I'm teaching good. Okay, now, so what we have today in most churches is a caricature of Passover. Just carry one small cup, one bread with yeast inside, which defeats the purpose for the bread, because the bread must be unleavened. I'm teaching good this morning. Dr. Damina said no more communion. You like eating it at home. Glory to God. Just like water baptism. Water baptism was just John the Baptist's way of identifying Christ. John and Jesus were cousins, but John didn't know that his cousin was the Christ. They are cousins. They grew up in the same environment, but yet John didn't know that Jesus was the Christ. It's even possible they played football together. Jesus, pass the ball, pass the ball. Why were you slowing? Don't do it next time. Pass it fast. If I say pass. Don't forget that Jesus was a normal child, very normal. Played around. That's why his mother could rebuke him. Come, don't be naughty next time. How is it that we're all moving together as family? You use style and sneak, and now you made us to be looking for. That means when Jesus departed, they didn't know. He must have been used to play tricks. Don't forget, he grew in wisdom, in stature. That means if he grew, he played like a small boy will play. Otherwise, then he's not a human being. Somebody's looking at me and saying, how can you be talking about Jesus like that? That's exactly how he was. Glory to God. You know, there was nothing really specific or different about Jesus. He was a normal child. In fact, he was an ugly child. He wasn't handsome. He was ugly and from a poor house. So ugly and poverty combined, it becomes ugliana. So I said, how can you say Jesus was ugly? The Bible said there was no beauty in him to desire. So he wasn't attractive because he didn't come for fashion parade. He came to save sinners. I'm teaching good this morning. In a carpentry workshop, carpenter Jesus, carpenter, go. This wood, you didn't do it well. Do it again. Nail it well. How can I be talking about Jesus like that? Is it written in your Bible? Are you not reading? Have you not read? Are you following? Yeah. So John the Baptist and Jesus were cousins. But John was told about Jesus who was coming, about the Messiah, that he was a forerunner of. And he didn't know that this Messiah is my cousin. So he now say, okay, let me even identify this person I'm a forerunner, because Israel is a big place. We don't know who is who, and the person doesn't have a specific feature that I look out for. So the only way I can look for him is I was told that person, the Spirit will come on him as you keep baptizing. So Jordan, everybody come to River Jordan for baptism. The only way we will know who is different from all of us is inside River Jordan. Oh yeah, you enter first. Yeah, come out, you are not ordinary man next. Come out, you are not ordinary man next. Come out, you are not ordinary man next. Then when he came to Jesus' turn, he said, I won't baptize you, because the antics you've been playing around me, it makes it look like you are not a normal person. Jesus said, just baptize me, let's be sure. You enter. As soon as Jesus entered and knelt down, the heavens opened, the dove descended, and the voice came, this is my beloved son, this is the guy. John the Baptist says, okay, baptism over. Because this is why we were baptizing, to identify. But when the church don't understand the purpose for baptism, they now continue baptizing you. Some of you have taken 3 people's portion. You did as a child, then as you are growing, you now did a proper one, because the first one they sprinkle them on you. You did the one of immersion, and the last one you swam inside the river. To be very sure, the baptism enter everywhere. Because your pastor told you that if they baptize you, your hand is outside, the hand will be beating people. Because the hand has not died. So since everything must enter, as the pastor put you inside, you remove your hand and enter. It is called cross-testamental application, because the purpose for it is gone. But when scriptures are not well interpreted, the resultant effect is we engage in practices that are expired. And when we engage in those practices, they block us from seeing Christ. That's the danger.